everyone, so today I will show you how you can register at Estrella Mountain Community College or any Maricopa Community College if you are part of a early outreach program. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is go to admissions.maricopa.edu. Once you go to admissions.maricopa.edu, you would have to click on Apply Now underneath First Time Dual Enrollment. If you're not doing dual enrollment and you're doing a different early outreach program, you need to still click on Apply Now. If potentially you already have an account with the Maricopa College, then you would click on Login, but many of you don't, so you would click Apply Now. After you click Apply Now, it will ask you again whether you have a Maricopa email or a student ID. If you don't, then you click No. If you do, then you would log in. Next, it will ask you if you're on a student visa. If you know you are, then click yes. If you're not, then click no. After you answer the previous question, you will be prompted onto a new page where you would need to create your student account. Very first thing you would need to do is type in your first name, middle name, and last name. If you don't have a middle name, you can check off this box right here where it says no middle name. Then you will need to type in your date of birth and your social security number. When you type in your social security number, make sure it is the correct one. If you don't know it, you can leave it blank and come back to it later. But if you know it, make sure you include it now to avoid any issues in the future. Next, you will need to type in your personal email. Make sure you use your personal email and not your high school email to avoid any issues in the future when you graduate high school or you change high schools. Then you would need to type in your phone number and select your phone type. After that, make sure you complete the security check and you click on Create Username. After you click on Create Username, it will give you your username at the very top. Make sure you write down your username as that is your MEID and you will need it in case you lose access to your application while doing it. So make sure you write down your username. Next thing you would do is create your password. Your password must be 10 characters long, have at least one lowercase and one uppercase letter, contain at least one number and a special character. After you decide on your password, you would need to confirm your password and select your account recovery question. So you can select out of any of these questions, include your answer, and then click Next. After you click Next, you will be required to include your personal information. So double check that your first name and your last name is correct. Select the appropriate suffix if you have one. If you don't, leave it blank. Next, you will select your preferred name. So if you have a nickname you prefer to go by, or you have a different name, you could include it there. Next, you will need to type in your address, your zip code, your city, your state, and your address type. So depending on your address type, you would select it. Then this is a very important step you need to complete. It is your parent/guardian contact information. So make sure you include the contact information for your parent guardian. You would need their name, their relationship to you, and their phone number. After you complete that step, you will need to answer your demographics. So after you complete your demographics, you will have to do your residency information. The first question it asks you about your residency information is what Arizona county will you live in? Select the county you will live in. Many of you are part of the Maricopa, so select Maricopa if you live in Maricopa, which many of you do. Then it will ask you when did you move or will move to Arizona. If you were born in the state of Arizona, you would include your date of birth here. Or if you just moved to Arizona, you would include that here as well. Then you would need to answer the question that best describes your residency status. So select whichever option applies to you. Then you would need to check this box off saying that you will submit documentation that will determine your lawful presence in the United States. After that, you would click on Next. After you click Next, you will be prompted onto a new page where you would include your high school information. You would need to select your high school name. So out of all these, select your high school. Then you would need to include your expected graduation date and answer whether either of your parents have completed a bachelor's degree. After you answer these questions, you will click Next. After you select Next, you would be required to choose your college and term. So you would select your primary college of interest. In our case, it is going to be Estrella Mountain Community College. If you're doing an early outreach program with any other community college, then you would select that community college. Make sure when you select the community college, it is the college you are going to do the early outreach program with, not the community college you plan on attending after you graduate. In our case, we are doing the early outreach program with Estrella Mountain Community College. Next, you would select the term you plan on beginning classes. In our case, it is going to be Fall 2020, as we are currently in the fall semester. If it is spring and you plan on starting classes in spring, then you would select Spring 2021. In our case, like I said, it is fall. After that, we would click on Add to My Application. After you hit Next, you would need to double check that the college you selected is the correct one. So make sure it is a correct college and term. At the very bottom, it will ask you if you are adding any other additional college or program. You would click No, I want to add another program. If you're ready and that's the correct college, you would select Yes. So go ahead and click Next. After you hit Next, you will be prompted onto a new page named Requirements and Disclosures. On this page, you will be able to review all the requirements and disclosures part of the Maricopa Community College. So the very first one is a financial responsibility. If you would be required to review the Maricopa tuition and fees policy and the Maricopa refund policy in order for you to get an idea of how the tuition and refund policy works at the Maricopa Community Colleges. After you do that, you would check off this box. Then you would determine whether you would like to give the community college permission to award you an associate's degree or certificates if you had earned it. That would be a yes or a no question. After that, you would have to determine whether you give permission to the college to release information about you while following the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, which is FERPA. So that would be yes or no. After that, you would be required to read the disclosures. After you read the disclosures and you answer all the questions, you would hit Next. After you hit Next, you will be prompted onto this screen where you would be required to upload a photo ID. There are several methods to upload your ID. You can upload it via mobile ID upload or desktop upload. We recommend students to take a picture of their driver's license, learner's permit, or ID card on their phone, email that photo to their email. Once they do that, they would download the picture onto their computer and upload it via desktop upload. So in our case, we are going to do that and we are going to click desktop upload. After you click on desktop upload, you will go on to the next page where you would upload a picture of both the front and back of your ID. When you upload your ID, make sure it is a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG. Word documents or PDFs are not acceptable. Make sure the ID is in a dark background as well as all edges of the photo are visible. Make sure there isn't any glare in the image and make sure it is focused and as clear as you can make it. So you would click on Capture Front and then select your download. Once you select your download, your image should show at the very bottom. In our case, this is our example of our ID. It is in a dark background, all four corners are visible, it is not expired, and you can clearly read the information on the ID. After you upload both the front and the back, you would submit your identification by clicking here. When you click on Submit Identification, it will process your application and it will take a while. So just let the screen load while it loads your application. Make sure you don't close this tab or refresh it, just let it load. When your application has finished processing, you will get a message saying welcome to the Maricopa Community College. It will give you your MEID and your student ID as well as your Maricopa email. Make sure you write down your MEID, which is your user ID, and your student ID. Both of these IDs are very important as you will need them most of the time when logging into your student center or when contacting a representative at any Maricopa College. So make sure you write down your MEID and your student ID. After you've written them down, you are done. You have successfully completed your registration to Estrella Mountain Community College or the Maricopa Community College you plan on doing your early outreach program with.